I'm saying it again. I was reading in the newspaper, someone said, Liberian people will get a job. We are one-term president. But and after the elections, God will make sure that that mouth will be closed. But beware, I will defeat them in more than 2018. At the first round, we call for absolute majority of the vote, meaning you must have 50% plus one. Then you win the first round, meaning there's no second round. If no candidate obtained absolute majority, 50% plus one in the first round, a second ballot shall be conducted on the second Tuesday following the announcement of the results of the first ballot. Second Tuesday, I will end here. I don't have to go all the way down. Second Tuesday following the announcement of the result of the first ballot. If you need to plan for elections second round, the time the law tells you need to conduct the second round, do you expect for us to get the money after announcing the results before we start running being a Ministry of Finance or before we start making preparation? Election doesn't work like that. While we are talking about now, the commission start to engage for that money. The commission start to make preparation for a possible second round, if there would be a second round. The time frame the law is providing is a very limited time frame that you expect the commission to say, we're waiting for the first round to finish. Let's see whether there will be second round before we make preparation.
Why are they delaying to give us the full duplication of cards? Our question to them was, are you buying time to incorporate these duplicated card holders into the voter roll? Because if these people are duplicating the cards, and you say, just by submission of that card and the person needs a picture on the voter roll they will vote, we are taking the bio information, then there's a reason why we should suspect the delay. Maybe the delay.
Especially in the SOEs, people are making crazy salaries. Crazy. Some people making 20,000, some people making this, including all kind of benefits. So when the president look at the payroll, he said, no, you have civil servants that are still making $70. Police people on the street, not hardly making anything. Some people at the lower level, not even making $100. He said it's unfair for few people to make millions of dollars and the majority makes less. So we said we'll harmonize the payroll so that additional funds will be made available for those money programs that the president is now doing. So I think it was bringing down the salary a little bit from the high level. You think some of the ministers happy? Their salary may have been $5,000 when we started, but by the time that process was over, some ministers now making $1,500, some making $2,000 because we needed to shift the balance to the majority and not to the minority. Because you look at ministers, assistant minister, and deputy, they form a very small percentage of the payroll.
We're not even limiting ourselves to that 30% because we deserve more. But how can we fight when we are not there? Because power comes with authority. If I want to think of inclusion, Priscilla is not in the house, I'm not in the house. How do we say our plans will be executed by those people? So it's about collectivism, because you have 73 legislators and if there are 5 persons that are pushing this, and you have the remaining people saying they aren't supporting it, what do you do? It's a problem, and that's why we are pushing for more women to enter the house to work along with the men, because there are some good men in the house that feel that with women by their side, a lot of things will be done.
Our share a slightly different view. While it is true women should be given, the opportunity or whatever, not anything we should be given the opportunity, we should fight for it. I do not want to put any percentage to how many women go to the house. I think 100%. What happened to all female legislature? We should not limit ourselves. Fight for a place. Once a female is qualified, make sure she goes on to represent our people. I don't want to put any number to it. Look, women are looking for getting things done. Women are individuals with integrity. And this is why we should look for in leaders in our country. We need people with integrity. You have all of the good things on your platform. If you do not have integrity to implement it, it's not going to work.
First and foremost, there has been concerns from many of the voters that there would not be sufficient monitoring at the polling stations. And in addition to that, there has been a need for the opposition to come together, to work together in terms of protecting and safeguarding the votes of the Liberian people. I reached out to opposition parties, and what we have today now is the result of that, where we have signed this memorandum of understanding to protect and safeguard the votes of the Liberian people.
There's no record of hypocrisy in my activism. There's no record of deception. There's no record of stealing. I've been tested, I've been tried, I've been resilient. You need a leader who will not back down. I have an integrity. I believe my story resonates with the people that I'm talking to, I want to lead. I come from a very poor background. Many of the people that are listening to me, they know my story. I struggled to reach at this point. And because of that, they see me as a great.
The masses must be careful in October. I'm seeing all kinds of alligators, cobra, leopard, and lion hiding on the party again. Some of them can take we have picture, they put it here on it is. Got picture, they put it on this picture, put it here. Yeah, you can do that your campaign thing. But the only reason why I will vote for you cannot be because you promise man or you that man or you that man. No, you must show the intellectual competence, that character, ability to debate the issue. Say, for example, Deuteronomy 8 is a part of Liberia. This is where you have the executive mansion, the Capitol building, and the Supreme Court. You have the University of Liberia, AMU, and all the other institutions right here. Either they have the university here or they have offices here. This is the intellectual hub of the Republic of Liberia. People cannot represent Deuteronomy 8.
I'm concerned about the misdirection of our country. See, you'll be president. You're not finding food for the people. You're not creating means for the people. You're talking about senator and not senator. Adding the Liberia-VOL. People are not serious.
They see they are a bunch of hooligans, bunch of clowns. So such people cannot be entrusted with it. They are so good that they are informed like people, they cannot color, and they cannot make it up. So you see what is happening now? You see what is happening? That these people, they are unserious people, they are a bunch of hooligans that just want to take over the country and grab whatever they get and go away.
The government sees Mr. Peace as a threat to them in 2023. So they are trying to do everything to bring this man down.
But I can guarantee you, I will beat those people just like a little baby. When the election result, they will understand God got me. I'm saying it again, I was reading in the newspaper, someone said, Liberian people will get job, we are one time president. And after the elections, we make sure that our mouth is closed. I will defeat them and
I'm one of the proponents in propagating the people agenda, the PWD. And today you say, what are open to offer?
You supposed to have been in English?
Are you being supported?
Brother, I'm saying, don't ask me that question. I think the party is under the obligation
To do for you.
Yeah.
But they aren't doing.
You asking me, you want me to be monotonous. I think
Are
what
they doing for you?
I think the party is under the obligation.
That expression means they aren't. They ought to.
I said the party is under the obligation.
They are doing it for you directly.
I thank you. Let's move on.
You don't want to come straight.
Honorable Sam Andrew, I don't know what you mean. I said the party is under the obligation because I'm one of the progenitor.
We shall overcome because the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends toward justice. We shall overcome because Carlyle is right. No lie can live forever. We shall overcome because William Cullen Bryant is right. Truth crushed the earth will rise again. We shall overcome because James Russell Lowell is right. Truth forever on the scaffold, wrong forever on the throne. Yet that scaffold holds the future. Behind the dim unknown standeth God within the shadows, keeping watch above his own. We shall overcome because the Bible is right. We shall reap what is born. We shall overcome. Deep in my heart, I believe we shall overcome.
One, two, three, four, 5, 6, 7, 8, 7, 8, 9, 10,
Mm, I love you. I'm missing you. I want you back. Long time no see. Without your love, I'm alone. Miss you, and it's too hard to bear. What have you done to me? I'm waking up in the middle of the night without you, and it's so unfair. I toss and turn, reach for you, only my pillow. Sun away, morning sun.
It is another day again. So very much can say how massive you are, how extraordinary you are that you have joined for the show Bits and Pieces on Voice of Liberia, 104.1 Monrovia, Voice of Liberia, 89.7 Takata Magibi County, Voice of Liberia Online Radio, www.voiceofliberiaradio.com, and on Facebook, Voice of Liberia. My name is Sam Andrews, and we've got just 19 days to go. So we put the bits and pieces together in 19 days.
I have no appetite. My food has no taste. I'm losing weight. Thought you could be replaced. I daydream of you and me and how great we used to be. Uh, girl, and I firmly believe turning all these dreams to reality. Like a child, but say it's so easy to you. I love you. I miss you. I want you back. I love you. I'm missing you. I want you back.
Okay, they said time is of the essence. Certainly it is. We've got a couple of things to talk about as they are laid out for you on our plate. But as it is the protocol or tradition of the station, given the time that we find ourselves in, that we ought to maintain a secure, peaceful atmosphere. So we caution ourselves with just 18 days to go that we stay clear of any and everything violent, that we suppress every sentiment, not allowing any anger to flare up. The atmosphere ought to be conducive, it ought to be secure for everybody. And it is only everybody who can do that, not certain people, not only the particulars of the elections, the presidential candidates, the legislative candidates, but everyone. But particularly the emphasis will always be on them to tame their people because they are their followers. Those people follow. So as much as it is incumbent upon every one of us, civil society, the media, the churches, religious leaders, whatever the group, international partners, everybody, the stakeholders themselves, or the main players, ought to, they got the responsibility really to keep the atmosphere peaceful, void of any violent conduct. That means they themselves will have to be mindful how they make certain public address or they give certain public address because you may not have gun, but what you say is a weapon in itself. How many of you know French Bacon said words are penetrating more than the bullet? And that is true. I believe that. Look around you, watch people in conversation, or let something just back up. And somebody uses a word or expression to a person. That person who
that expression goes to will almost take knife to tear that person up because that word went down into his soul, bone, marrow, flesh. So we do not have guns, but the words that we utter are weapons in themselves, are arsenal in themselves. So we have to be careful what we say. Every one of us, everyone from the main players in these elections or in this campaign period up to the election and beyond. This is Voice of Liberia, Bits and Pieces caution as we head gradually to October 10th with just 13 days to go. With that said, at 3, Liberian lawyer Omisi Johnson is in to talk about not only what he wants of the National Elections Commission, what he got to propose to the government, but we will walk through some of the legal lines of the treaty between Liberia and the United States or the bilateral treaty as to whether Luca Riches can get off the hook to be tried in the United States or whether there is a provision that he can be tried. He is a lawyer. They are within that domain. That is one of the reasons I invited him so that you get the legal side of it because very many people will think that, yes, well, nothing is going to come of it. The man is a white skin and the court here afraid of the American embassy. So instead of looking at the laws, they impute sentiment. So the lawyer comes in now to give a full understanding because they go through all of these laws and frameworks and treaties at the law school. So they are best suited to explain. So you want to listen carefully to the lawyer as he will give his position. That will be in just under 45 minutes from now. Until then, you are aware that Unity Party got uncomfortable and still uncomfortable with what the National Elections Commission, in their opinion, is doing, that it is a delay. And if they continue to delay in releasing the voter registration roll to them as the law requires so that they go through their various aspects of it, it will be interpreted as a recipe for suspicion. So, in order to allow the law to prevail, they sought legal redress. They took the National Elections Commission to court for what they call the Commission's hesitation to release the final registration roll to them as political parties and independent candidates. Unity Party on Tuesday, that was yesterday, the 26th of this month, will file a request before the Supreme Court of Liberia for a writ of McDermott against the National Elections Commission with all of their counts. The decision, they went further to say that concerns were raised, concerns were raised because the time was elapsing and the National Elections Commission knows exactly what it needed to do in time. So they have asked next boss, David Brown Lasana, to appear and give an understanding. One of them, who is a staunch member of Unity Party, Senator Ibrahim Darius Dillon, will lead a group of supporters of Unity Party 2 weeks back, or almost 2 weeks, at the headquarters of the National Elections Commission for a meeting to give an understanding of why the FFR hasn't been released to them in accordance with the elections law. And that meeting ended in a deadlock that left Senator Darius Dillon to come out facing the media and said what he needed to have said in his from his anger. So they've gone to court to issue a writ or to pray the court to issue a writ of McDermott. McDermott is just a judicial remedy in the form of an order from a court to any government or subordinate agency or public authority to perform a specific act that are obliged to do under the law. So simply put, that neck the court will act next to say, "Oh, please come and say why you having these people broad days and bring your law. Let's see what the law says about that." So they will be compelled. In this case, the McDermott situation, there isn't an option. You have to go. It is an injunction or a decree. It's just like when a decree is issued, a decree doesn't have option to say, "Oh, yeah, okay, get your chance. We want to do this, we'll do that, then we'll come and show you." No, 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 no. Once it is issued, you have to go forthwith with all your legal people and all of your documents, and then you have to state your position. So there where we are presently. And what if this is not resolved as soon as it ought to be resolved? It will cause further problem. Here is it. The National Elections Commission now will have to do some alterations because the time has elapsed. So had they done it within that time frame, then it means it behind everybody. They're focusing on something else. Even though at the conference yesterday, the chairperson of the National Elections Commission, David Brown Lasana, said it will be released, but she wasn't definitive. But rather, when they finish, it will be released. What she was buoyant of is the confidence that it will be given to these political institutions. They weren't satisfied with the answer or what they heard from the live broadcast from the National Elections Commission. So they opted with consultation from the lawyers or with the lawyers to go to court. Now, if this drags on, what happened? There's going to be alterations. Moreover, the delay raised a suspicion. These suspicions that are coming out, what people are not actually saying and ought to say and look at it from a logical standpoint, that they are not speaking out of the blue sky. It's not guesses here. The law said within this time frame, National Elections Commission provide it to them. It is their working tools so that they know what to do. Moreover, it borders on integrity so that they don't have any suspicion. Or if there is any suspicion from their examination, they will have time or they will be in the same ample time to reach you so that you're trash it out. So if that didn't take place, if they don't have it yet, then there's a problem. So their suspicions sometimes we tend to be sentimental, but you have to look at it from the legal side of it. Because if they are not getting anything convincing from the National Elections Commission, they will be thinking, anybody will think that way. Say, "Oh, but the people here, they get something under their sleeve." They go, "Why the delay?" Because delay without information sharing has only one thing attached to it: suspicion, uncomfortable feelings. That's what it does. When you delay and you can't say any reason for your delay, people will start thinking that there's something you want to do or there's something you're doing. So they went to court, and the Supreme Court now will decide. Yeah. But it is a public information that needed to have done. Don't delay. There are certain things you have, and you know that if you delay, it will cause problem. Suspicion will begin to come up. So you don't delay. You do it in time. If you have a delay, tell the people, call them. It's as simple. Information sharing suppresses sentiment, anger. Because once you can update them, they will not rise up. They will not have any suspicion about you. There's education right there. They know what is going. They will even suggest show you if this is the problem that you are encountering, that we can get the voter roll in time as the law provides, then let's do it this way. We suggest that it go this way. So by at that point in time now, it is on them because they have suggested and they will cooperate. But if nothing of such, then you lead them to saying what they said. And this is where I disagree with the chairman of the National Elections Commission. She has to be the last person to get vexed, and she has to be the last person to be counter reacting. When the law says what you ought to do, and people raise concern in accordance with the law, and you have not done it, and they start to make statements that in literature, the ordinator, you are the cause. So you can give a counter reaction to them to say, "Oh, nobody will make a threat to the commission. The commission is not afraid of anybody." No, you exacerbating the problem. You increasing the anger further. You giving every reason to them to say what you people are suspecting is true. All you have to do as the last person is to remain quiet on it, listen to them. They are they are the ones who are, are anger. Then you are the one to pacify their anger by just giving assurance. What will it take the National Elections Commission Chairman David Etebrand Lasana to say that I can understand? The law provides, but these are the problems we are encountering. Hence, we appeal to all of you stakeholders or political parties to give us from this time to this time. By then, it will have been released. And it's finished. They wouldn't do anything beyond that. The people say, the Christians would say kind words. Kind words turn away wrath. When you're giving kind words, it doesn't say that you are not correct with your issue. It doesn't say you are not well placed to address, neither are you not addressing it. No, it only means that you don't want a hostile environment. It only means that you are the last person to get vexed because when you get vexed, already they are vexed, then who will listen to who? Right there, we have a crisis. We have hostile atmosphere. Simple. This is why I took exception for the chairman when she reacted the way she reacted. I think she should be the last person on these things to be giving a reaction. She can be reactive. She can be reactionary. No, you listen to them. They got legitimate claim. That is what the law said. They are operating or they are raising these concerns in accordance with the law. So you have to do it. So they're going to court. They're going to court. Unity Party took them to court. And then that's it. So another thing that we go to talk about, the teachers, the teachers, they brought in Nigerian teachers. The government brought in Nigerian teachers. As much that, and that is good, but there are a couple of things we have to look at there. The act is not bad, the move is not bad, but there are a couple of things you have to look at. 14 teachers, and if the minister says 16, so the other ones are expected in the country. Now, what they have told us that they have trained, they have qualified, they have professional, they have well-versed teachers in Liberia that they have covered the entire country. They're building schools, they're rehabilitating schools, they got schools of volunteer teachers, and a lot more. So, the coming in of these teachers from Nigeria, what is it that they have come to do? What difference do they bring? What impact, literally and academically, they are going to have on the education sector where they will be assigned? What is it that the teachers here aren't doing in terms of instruction that these guys will have to do for a difference? What is it? Well, has Nigeria ever requested teachers from Liberia? You know why they haven't and they will never do? Because, as far as they're concerned, they should groom their own. They have all of the infrastructures in place, they have everything. They feel that importing knowledge is important, but it is equally significant to nurture. Do you hear Nigeria request Liberia to send teachers in this area, in that area, in this area? No, not at all. But we will always export idea as if we can develop. And it's all because truly too, we don't want to develop. We don't want to build our own. We don't want to groom. We don't want to do anything. So we're more reliant on other countries, more subservient than we think we are sovereign. We're just sovereign on paper, but in practice, no. We are totally reliant on a number of countries. Even though no country is an island, but you can be independent, you can be sovereign to some extent. Sovereignty is not only when you have paper, you are on your own. You can be sovereign in the agriculture, in your agriculture sector. You can be sovereign in your education sector. You can be sovereign in very many of your sectors. And other countries can just look at it and say, okay, you have a little error in this. We can prop you up in this area. Simple as that. What can Liberia turn to Nigeria? Nigeria can request Liberia for anything. They can do it. Military, we turn to them. Education, we turn to them. Whatever, they have to turn to country. One is it that these teachers have so much in terms of difference that the teachers here cannot do. If you are importing people all of the time, you're simply saying that your sector you aren't qualified to actually build up your sector, so you rely on people from other countries who took up time to build their own, and you're using their expertise in your country, and that expertise is not going to stay because the period of time, if they're here for 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, they come back. So what have they left? They're not coming to train, but rather to instruct. It is a complementary effort. They provide their expertise, they learn from us. Like the guy said, yes, I want cultural assimilation. You can root it out. You have to get fixed into the culture. You have to know the number of things and all of that. But from the educational side of it, what would they be leaving? What would they do? When a person gets into a place and that person is leaving, it means that somebody must have already been nurtured, groomed, ready to do exactly what that person did. And that's what they call continuity. What is it that these guys, in terms of knowledge, that the guys here can impact? Every time and the boss of it too much. The boss of it too much. And I think when they're making all those announcements, something positive for the country. Uh, 25 teachers from Nigeria will come to Liberia to assist. So in 6 years' time, you weren't able to train significantly or to a greater extent your teachers, even if it is a specific area. We have to groom. We have to graduate from this whole atmosphere of depending on other people as if we cannot build. God gave everybody 5 senses to develop. But it seems that we are not using ours right. So those who are using theirs right, we turn to them to direct our course of affairs in our own country, yet we claim to be sovereign. We look out of our own too much. So when something not working in whatever the sector, then there's a standstill right there. Even if you have an agreement, if you have an agreement That agreement can be faded out with time, and that means you will train your own people. You start to train them. The Ministry of Education can be doing this. In my opinion, no. You talk about training people, training teachers here and there. You talk about volunteer teachers. You talk how your instructors are sophisticated in various disciplines. But you're telling us now that you're bringing in teachers. So what happened to the people that are here now? This is why when some of these Liberians go out to get quality education, they don't want to come back to Liberia because they feel that in their own country, they will be in the country with all the expertise, with the quality education, the vast knowledge of education, and then they will bring people from another country to come and do what a Liberian can do. Go to workshops around. Just sit down and see. The more you have people in this country who are by far knowledgeable, very educated, sound than some of those they even bring from outside. You go to a workshop, the man will come from a given country using almost 5,000 US to bring him in to lodge him. Then he's just going to deliver 10 or 15 minutes presentation. He get 5,000. We know that because we see it every day. And some of them, what they do, you who listening, watching, you can do the same thing. You can take a man to just come and do a simple presentation on maybe in the agriculture sector, in your journalism sector, whatever. Let me use our sector because we see it many times. Just to talk about simple thing on recruiting, on interviewing technique. You bring somebody from out of the country, they may get 5,000. You use almost 5,000 to bring him and lodge him. When you have veteran media practitioners here that are well versed, well educated, understand the culture very well, can do that presentation, but you prefer to give that 5,000 to a foreigner and not a Liberian. So how now can Liberia develop? What's the sovereignty there? What's the independence? What's the reliance? So when the Congo people can say when push comes to shove, that means when no money around erupt, then you start calling the people there. You calling your own people now, then you expect them to put themselves in that contingency move to solve the problem. It is bad. We have to stop doing this. Sit down and see. Nigeria can look at Liberia right now and say, Liberia send us teachers. They can do it. Ghana can look at Liberia and say, send us teachers. Even Guinea, they can do it. Sierra Leone can do it. All these countries, these regional countries, when we start to talk about some of the things in between, you say, oh, but how they think you're looking? Those people, you know how they see Liberia? Say, oh, I called you back. The boy only and they make requests. Oh, they're making requests here and there. They have everything. They have the natural resources. They have this, they have that, but you can see nothing of them. This is why the country is being exploited. You know how the country is being exploited in every facet, in every sector. Foreigners come, you're giving them 10,000, 20,000, 5,000 to do a simple thing, other sector, everywhere. So what's happening? There's capital flight. They take more money out of your country than money is coming into your country. Not only do they take money out or capital flight, but what happened? There is no expertise. What's the dividend you reaping? Nothing. Just to say Liberia brought in 14 teachers, 25 Nigerian teachers. That's all. It's just publicity stunt. We have to graduate from this thing of depending on other people, but rather to develop our own people. That's what sovereignty is. Sovereignty, inclusive within sovereignty, is the independence of various sectors. We agree that no man is an island somewhere, somehow. You need another person, but it cannot be total reliance. No, we want everything. We send for people. We send him outside. The sports sector will have to beg for this. Expertise will come from this other country to come do. When they come, they're not training people. They're not doing anything. Our officials, they can't make any request in that line. They're just there looking at them, enjoying them because they are foreigners. When the time finishes, they pack, they're gone. Nothing left behind. They said the atmosphere remains the same. No difference. No impact. So what is the essence? That's my opinion on that. It's not bad, but we have to stop depending on people all of the time, assisting. So that will be doing it for that. Rescue team. The rescue team is having a fundraiser. The rescue team. Rescue team is Unity Party. They are in search of money. They are looking for money. They've said they don't have much money. They may have enough, they may have much, but not enough money. So they have started to organize programs to raise money. And today is their fundraiser, Unity Party. Today is their fundraiser. Today is their fundraiser. This evening, this evening, and it's going to be online or live fundraiser. Live fundraiser. They frame it Joe Walker Big Fundraising Day. Joe Walker Big Fundraising Day. Rescue Team Joe Walker Big Fundraising Day. September 27th. Today is the 27th. And they're going to be doing it live on Spoon Talk and Class Reloaded. That's what they said. Class Reloaded. They are in search. They want money. Money. So the fundraiser will be this evening on two of the networks in Liberia. It's called Joe Walker Rescue Team Joe Walker Fundraiser. Fundraiser. And this is why I wanted the head of Integrity Watch. Why I will focus on the head of Integrity Watch in this whole money business? Because the National Elections Commission said they had entered a memorandum of understanding with them. So they have an understanding. The law said you should spend this, you should not go above that. So nobody knows right now how these political parties getting the money, where they are getting the money, even though the election law call for people can make donations and other things, but it also has limitation and how the money can be expended. Nobody knows. Everybody sees the political parties, the independent candidates, they're moving around. You see vehicles all over the place, a number of things. As far the people concerned, they're both running campaign. But what are those things that they're using, that money, or that just guessing? Where the money coming from? How the materials, what kind of materials, how the materials were purchased. All of those things are what they call campaign finance. Finance mean money. We want to know how the money coming in, where you getting the money from. Let's assume the law say you must use 500,000. So you got 500,000. How you sold that 500,000? You buy all your materials. The 500,000 finish. The campaign go nowhere. But you're bringing in more cars. You're building billboards all around the place, big billboard. All those things, you're paying people to do this, to do that. So the law now will say, well, we want to know. How come? Because everything about life is accountability. People who have been criticizing other people in the past about being corrupt, no accountability. You want to do small something, they say, oh, you'll give a camp. It is the same thing in campaign. Political parties ought to do that. That's the way you will know how you're going into the election. And the reason for that is to allay the unfair advantage. Because in one party spending, one party can order for 14 cars, 100, 250 motorbikes. How they call the other one? All the companies, you're doubling them, doubling them, doubling them. What becomes of the other party? They're dead practically. Like you see with some of the political parties now. Some are dying already. No money to go beyond. That is why I've been trying. And Colorado has just not been cooperative, I should say, because we talk repeatedly now. And in my opinion, it's not integrity on their part. It's not transparency. You owe it to the people. So when the radio station calls you to explain, as much as you have many meetings with international organizations, you should equally make time to explain to the people because you owe it to the people too. These transparent organizations, Integrity Watch, a Center for Transparency and Accountability, you all owe it to the people. You should be moving on radio station call you to explain. You make up time to go and explain to educate the people. Otherwise, than that, you people will be seen as accomplices to the crime. Because when you're talking about corruption, the people don't know how it ought to be or how it is being, the money is being expended, and you sitting tablet, you can't say anything. But then when everything over, then you say you call in a news comment, this party is overspending, this party is doing this. When you should have done that earlier so that the people would know. In my opinion, it's not integrity there. Integrity Watch is on integrity. Center for Transparency and Accountability is on transparent. Sorry, I think my criticism will provoke you to go public now so that the people will know. It's all intended for the public. It's all intended for the public, not that you need to come to Voice of Liberia. No, I only invited. So you can even opt to go to any radio stations and explain. Let the people have an understanding. Let them know. Educate the public. Information sharing is good. In the absence of information sharing, the people will be in doubt and they will say what they can say. They will do what they can do. At the close of the day, then everybody will be shifting blame here and there intellectually. You didn't make informed decision. You didn't do this. You didn't do that. How would the people will have made informed decision when they were not educated? Out of this country, by now you see most of those integrated institutions, the people responsible for campaign finance cleaning. Political parties will not dare give account of how much money they have spent, how much money they have. The National Elections Commission will not want to do that, so they dedicate that responsibility, they apportion that responsibility to Integrity Watch. So Integrity Watch now is under obligation to inform the public how it is, how is it going. We got just 13 days to close everything beyond the eve of campaign. Nobody will ever attempt to call anybody. Nobody dare call anybody. The time now that you can do it is providing education to the public, then they will know what to do. So everybody in this whole election thing, just confusing everything. You have certain people, they don't want to talk. They know what they ought to do, they're sitting back. These people, when you call them, oh, center having meeting with EU people, the White having meeting with UFS, all the posting of all those meetings and time going. What would the people know? You have meetings with all those people and the very, very people who make the decision. They are not informed. So whatever they can do, they go along. Then we'll be complaining at the close of the day, Liberians don't make informed decision. Liberians don't make informed decision. But we help the people not to make informed decision. Because we hold back. How can an integrated institution would not want to come public and say, just as I said, the law said every political party get a amount to spend. When it's finished, you will not do this. Or this is how you can get money. This is how people can contribute. And this is how the National Elections Commission explained this part. I show it to you. I read it. Yeah, the National Elections Commission book. This is the law. NEC explained their own part. So the emphasis is not on the National Elections Commission. The law say the law put the money there. They put how you can source the money, how people can make contributions, and not more. So now, next year, because we are so tight with a number of things, we hire an integrated institution who will help to monitor and track how funding have been used. How well, oh God. Yeah, yeah. This is it. So let's turn it over to integrated watch. So right after I got through talking with Ignatius, we said, who is the political affairs man, after he confirmed it, I got through to integrated watch boss. Manager giving me excuses. He get another meeting or he will come. When you're waiting for him, you announce it. He can show up, call back, he say, oh, sorry, I was in the meeting, all of that. And time going. We saying our own and people say, oh, because some of you don't know when you're ready, you're oh, you're the candidate, and you're not doing this, you're not doing that. That's why I'm saying it. So because if you only know, you will just shamefully. In the absence of education, you just make statements, you think that you are right, but you aren't. 3 o'clock, the lawyer is in. So let me turn to you. Let's take a few calls. Let me have your input in the next few minutes on any one of our talking points. Then we can have the guest, and the lawyer is already in the building. He's Omisi Johnson. He's Omisi Johnson, a Liberian lawyer. 0770-907-907, Have your say on any one of the talking points. Unity Party runs to the Supreme Court to compel the court to issue a writ of mandamus against the National Elections Commission to provide the voter registration roll. Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How you doing?
I'm doing fine, so thank you. Your name? Where are you calling from?
I'm Bema Adam, and I'm calling from Royceville.
You called from Royceville?
Yeah, from Royceville.
Let's hear you, sir.
Okay, and my attention has been drawn to this issue that has to do with the teachers that have been brought in. Yeah, my question is this the first time for teachers from outside to come in this country to teach? Because I remember when I was in high school, I had teachers from India, from Philippines, from Ghana, from other countries who taught me. Why should it be a new issue right now? That's my question.
But did we say a new issue? Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm Joseph Vanuatu, the UC of Unity Party of thank you for the time, thank you for giving the screen to come and find out what happened in the country. Concerning about the teacher in the Bible in the country, I think it's there to win. It's sure that is not making no progress. That's why we say Liberia is not going nowhere. Because the same people who criticize the past and can't empower to do the same thing. So we are our country looking for teacher to be our country. It's not no sense in the country. Why can send our people? Because of people in the country that qualify. Why can you empower them? They work concerning about the national team.
Okay.
National team.
All right, Chief.
Why I say too? Thank you. Thank you for your
Thank you so much. Have a nice afternoon. You want to move away from your radio or switch it off, I beg you. 0770 907 907 0880 907 907. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. You are on the air. Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes.
I'm Mr. Jackson Wongwe. I speak to you from Papa.
Jackson Wongwe.
I want to student teacher that coming from Nigeria.
Jackson, I would have loved you to make your point, but your line is cracking. You change your location. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. 0770-907-907, 0880-907-907, and you are on Bits and Pieces on Voice of Liberia 104.1, Voice of Liberia 89.7,
Hello.
Kakatama Gibi County. Good afternoon, sir.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Yes. Coming to this my name, I'm calling from Bitz. Hello. Let me tell you like where it's not because are we kidding me?
I'm listening to you, sir.
Okay. Because we always degrade one another. But that teacher, we got a lot of people here who are educated, who train people. But Nigeria government will take people in Nigeria, Ghana, and pay them plenty of money. Then when they're ready to pay their own teacher, they don't have to give them this money to their own work. So like I am the number expressive.
All right, sir. Thank you so much. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. 0770-907-907, 0880-907-907. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, this is Ghana Asia calling from Nikogata.
How is Kakata this afternoon, sir?
Yeah, the area is not bad.
Let's hear you.
Yeah, thank you very much. My concern has to do with NEC on day one up to this time. I think this should not be something that is to be tracking in court. They got to open up to expand the principle because if you are having such a thing and you know this is something that every Liberian is looking up to you as you are panel judge with. But then if you are having certain things in kind of thing at the end of the day, it would bring misunderstanding.
What do you think the commission is hiding or got to hide?
What I'm saying is that out of the information concerning about how many persons you put at any of the police centers, all these things have to be placed so that every Liberian can be aware of it. If we exceed or go below, we will be aware of it. But turn out to this time, they have not touched the thing. Second to that, I think when it comes to the teacher aspect, Liberian government, even though they are saying that it's volunteer, yeah, we do agree with it's volunteer, but I think that the resources of Liberia is going out instead of restoring our country in order to develop the nature and improve our teacher and that of all civil servants. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for calling. Have a nice day. Volunteer is just in words. Volunteer, you're responsible for the person housing, the feeding, and everything. The people when I come from the country, they're responsible for their own housing, their own feeding. They do everything on their own. No, so it's complementary. They provide knowledge, their expertise. You provide the infrastructure side or logistical side. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for the topic. I am Suleiman Samia calling from District 14.
We're listening to you, sir. Yes, you are.
On the line of political funding, I believe there is where corruption makes this. Because if you don't know how the political party is getting their money, immediately to get power, the country becomes trouble. Because you came to me and begged for me and promised me something. You think when you win, what am I going to do? And even I come there as an investor, what would you do? I would just invest all and invest. On the line of the teachers, it wasn't bad, and all countries can do it. But even the timing at this time is not in place when we have this kind of critical time. In case there is any problem, what will you do about these teachers? Calling this extra trade was what if we were coming to provide a technical training for our teachers so that one will renew with us. But they are coming to get into the classroom. Then those who are attending universities, what is their own way? Or what is their benefit?
They are out of the classroom.
They want to go.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much. Good afternoon.
Hello.
Yeah.
Good to you.
Good afternoon, sir.
Thank you very much on your platform, Bitz and Pieces. And my name is Mohammed M. Kanajion. I speak to you this afternoon from Jason 15. But I talk with the answer make I just want to push out. You know, the issue of foreign teachers within our country, bringing in the country for me is number 4. Then my question goes to the Ministry of Education or to the Ministry of Education or to the government. Then, what is the significant key point of our own appearance or teachers that are going to the state university or that are going in other countries to advance the education journey to come back in that country? You see this? Because even the even the even the passion of the job of the education and knowledge that they went outside the country to achieve and they come back in the country, and because the government is not even the government need to make more impact in their own teachers, in their own teachers, because Uncle says, get me on record for this. Look, the government of the Republic of Liberia, even the past government and the present government, okay? Because for me, I'm not here to even and pick and choose, okay? But the fact that here is government will not even go and even rent hospital to even go rent apartment for the own that rent teachers. You're bringing the foreign teacher here, they do it almost 100% for them. See it? So you see it? Then the government trying to tell us in this country that they values other foreign teachers more than their own citizen teacher within this country.
All right, Mohammed. Thank you so much. Have a nice afternoon. Good afternoon. 077090790708880907907. Very shortly, we face the Liberian lawyer. The conversation will be very interesting to you. Take your pen and your paper, and so that you jot down your points. Something very interesting he got on his plate. Good afternoon. You are on the air, Chief. Okay, thank you so much. The phones are ringing, but it seems when you you call, you don't know that you are on the air. You listen by way of the phone, just as you will call anybody normally. You don't have to put your radio on, or you want to, even if the radio is on, you are hearing me. So when I say good afternoon, it means you're already on the air. But if you're not talking, no. Thank you ever so much for spicing up the first lap of the show, Bits and Pieces on Voice of Liberia 89.7, Kakata Magibi County, Voice of Liberia 104.1, Morovia, the online radio, www.voiceofliberiaradio.com, Facebook, just put in the search box Voice of Liberia and you are logged in. So let's turn to our guest this afternoon. He is Liberian lawyer, the executive director, Access to Justice and Legal Aid, Omisi Johnson. He got a couple of issues to talk about. Um, will not be the one to say that, but I'm telling you, he got something to say, and I'm aware of it. Good afternoon, Mr. Johnson, or I say Executive Director, Liberian Lawyer Johnson, to Voice of Liberia. Again, thank you so much for coming. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Sam Andrews. This is our passion, and we are interested in providing public legal education, public legal awareness, and information to our people. The direct beneficiaries of our work as an organization, the Access to Justice and Legal Aid Program, are the ordinary people, the group that you, the both people call, they can't read and write, illiterate people, indigenous people. They are the direct beneficiaries of our work. So this advocacy that we've come to do, it is because of their interest. Not your Coliton University, LU, or Stella Marino.
Before we get to the cross for which you are here, I want to get your legal opinion on this situation with Jessica Law, Liberian citizen, and Lucas Riches, American citizen. You are aware of where we are presently. He's within, as you people can say in law, the bailiwick of the law.
Mhm.
And that means he's within the jurisdiction of the state. Now, you want to give the public an understanding as to whether he can be tried here or he can be taken back to the United States. Is there an arrangement, a framework, a bilateral tie between the two countries on an issue like this?
I won't want us to dwell too much on that because I've not read whether there's a partnership agreement between Liberia and the United States. Based on those kind of arrangement, then if a Liberian does wrong or violate a law and flees into another country because of that tripartite arrangement, that person can be extradited back to this country. But mind you now, the United States government has its own policy. That's why they argue vehemently from there. Even if their soldiers go to war and violate international criminal law and violate the Geneva Conventions while in combat, you've always heard the United States government arguing now for their soldiers to be prosecuted in different countries. So with that, with the instant case, we will have to wait to see whether there's a possibility in that direction. So for now, I don't want to go. I have not read the agreement whether there's any treaty between Liberia and the United States in the instance where American citizens violate crimes or commit crimes, whether they can be prosecuted under our jurisdiction or the United States jurisdiction.
But from a legal perspective, how or what can you say?
By and large, everyone who enters the Republic of Liberia, you are protected under the laws of the Republic of Liberia in line with international standards. So when you arrive here, either as an alien or foreigner, the same entitlement that we have as citizens of this country, you are entitled to it. Once you don't violate the laws of the republic, there are certain rules, there are certain opportunities you don't have that you are restricted to. And those issues are several matters, like for instance, land ownership in Liberia. Our law says that only Liberian can, but you aliens, foreigner. But again, that if you are naturalized, of course, automatically you have the right to, own property in Liberia as just as common as Liberian citizen can be. So I we don't want again to spend much of the time on. It's a whole theory that needs to be explained. We spend maybe the one or the
In
next
this
2 hours.
situation, the act was allegedly committed on Liberian soil.
Liberian
Can he
source.
be tried on Liberian soil?
So the law says that first, when you violate the crimes of law, you should be apprehended first. You should be informed about your Miranda rights to lawyer, to equal representation before the court of Liberia. When you are found guilty, indeed, you will be recommended under our system. But when it comes to sentencing, I know the reference you're making is actually to sentencing, but it's already being processed under our jurisdiction. That's why it's not under the custody of the law.
So, where the law would take it from there to where?
Well, we wait first until when the court rules, then we'll see as to whether there's avenue for appeal. But now,
And how that appeal can come in?
well, they just maybe their application, filing an application before the court, and you have to give the grounds in which you are filing the counts for your clients to be exonerated from the crime committed. If
How
it doesn't hold,
you
no,
want to explain that legal aspect so the people understand that application?
no, it is actually the work of the public defense that has to do that. But for the prosecution lawyer, they will not want to give you space. You will not have space. Once you violated the law on you violated a crime on our law that fall in that line. Attempted murder, whether it's a first degree, second degree, or third degree felony, the law, the provisions are there. You should be held liable for it. So if you are convicted, then it becomes another ballgame. Then the question would be, should that person be sentenced on our law? That yes or no, we'll have to hang it there until we see how far this case will end with the fellow involved.
Should Lucas Riches be tried? Yeah.
That process is fire. Why you didn't defy? You cannot defy. So just to process it from the police to the court under the criminal, those two components, you all have funding part of the process. And you don't have to say a formal trial where the two lawyers, the state and the defense will come, but just to be booked from the first entry to the system, which is the police. Yeah, you've been documented. So that record will remain with the Republic of Liberia until that kingdom comes. It can be erased. So he's already that the trial process. It does not require only appearing in court to go produce evidences and lawyers argue for and against. But once you've been processing the system, yeah, that's the process. That's what they call it, the criminal justice system. It's a system.
You aren't aware of any bilateral
Look,
extradition treaty
I've
between
done
Liberia and the United States.
once it comes to the citizens of the United States with specific reference of their soldiers violating law, doing armed conflict, international law. I've always seen American government say, no, we prosecute our soldiers. They are indisciplined. Don't prosecute them. They are flying soldiers on battlefield in combat around the world to the states. Yeah, they indeed. Some of that soldier have been caught in violating international criminal law, international humanitarian law, the Geneva Conventions. But they always argue that they themselves should penalize their soldiers on the battlefield in terms of a violation of human rights.
Let's go to the crux of the issue.
Okay.
You want the national or the October 10th elections to be postponed. Why?
Okay, so as a paralegal and a journalist, I'm a victim of the civil crisis in Liberia. Hmm? I survived through the grace of God, based on my little skills that I can do small writing on pen and paper. So, MPFL, I was arrested by the MPFL. Then I spent a whole while in Banga. Banga fell. Udumba arrested me. Udumba was also attacked by the Liberia Peace Council. In those different instances of attack, thank God that those commanders, down to the Pupu platoon, no one could put a pen to a page in terms of situational report. But I had a skill that has survived. So in the military, there is a position called S2. That S2 is actually the man who writes, who take care of the civilian movement. So that how I survived. You don't move me S2. LPC I tell you don't move flare. LPC again, nobody could reference general war balls down. So they gave me S2. So all of the communication that used to come from Monrovia are intercepted all, whether the food ration, whether the ammunition that went to Ghana under attack from Ghana for I saw it. So I saw the discrimination, I saw the atrocities that were being committed. So this election is very crucial. In peace building and conflict resolution studies, they tell you that there are what I say early warning signs. Those early warning signs are signs that if they are not managed properly, will plunge a country into war. I don't want to even use the word chaos. Why are they? The National Election Commission chairman, Ethel Lassana Brown, is deliberately violating the rules as per the law. I see that as a recipe for conflict. So, in nutshell, I am saying that which she should have done by law and she didn't do it. The elections guideline October 10 should be extended for another 30 days that she didn't do. The law says that when the voter registration was completed, they were arranged by phases. She informed the Republic of Liberia that the first phase of the voter registration, the VR, that their biometric strategy machine they brought. She said on June 5th, 2020, in the press conference, that the first phase was completed. So saying was completed once Serrado recorded the total number of registrants as 891,201. Then they came back and they said, oh, then number here will not satisfy with AO. We are detecting that some people registered who are underage, who are not supposed to register. So we revisit the rule. That's what they call deduplication. So we move the names from that, those who are not qualified. So here is my argument. So if you did that, you say 800, 109 to 1,000. When you duplicate it, you move all those who register, who were then eligible, they're now above 18. Then instead of the number coming down, 800, 91,000, the number came up to 9,000, 514,000. Where is the increase? That is not more worrisome. A few days ago, she was asked, how did the number claim? You know her response? Hey, I did not know. I want to check it and come back and inform you. Is that what she's going to do on the day when she pronounces the result of the October 10th election? You know the result? No. We say, no, yeah, wait me. I'm coming back tomorrow. That will not return to war. It will return to war. You don't know the tension that is being carried out by this election. You don't know it. The law says that you have allowed us, but now, 2005, I participated in civil voter education in one country, in electoral district 5 and in district 6. By this time, we were in the communities with the final voter rule. Know your voter. We are talking to the people in the local dialects. This is how the ballot will look. When you want to vote, you do the check or you put your fingerprint. She was done, since she said that over 2 million persons were registered after the entire voter registration, but they needed to go reduplicate. So the country will have been informed that after we revisited, this is the final number that we have that will go to the election. Once you have done that on September 18th, cannot done that.
The law provides
It's
21
valid.
days.
It is valid 30 days
30 days.
prior
30
to the
days.
date of the election. And that 30 days ended on September 18th. All of the political parties supposed to be having it. So she has not done that. So we don't know also whether if you register as GWGC prison, you'll be voting there. The experience that we observe the past election is on election day when they force it at the 11th hour, like the after tomorrow election, then they kind of push out 2 million ballots.
So
Yeah,
that,
we move
that,
it.
but that, council,
Yeah.
that can be erected. It's not a major problem.
It
It's not
is-
magnitude
It is late.
that you call for
It
the
is a
postponement of the
recipe.
elections.
It is a recipe. Why do you want to have an election then you have post-election violence? Like Kenya, like Zimbabwe, like Nigeria. That's what you want to have. That's what you want to have happen take place? We say no. You are not, you're the elites. Those of you that my old man are talking to, my auntie there, my sister, my brother. The thing I can't talk here today, my heart is heavy. The woman who is the big woman for the voting horse, she not do bad thing. They will not careful what we can hear. Number one, the time she told now, all the community, if you have acted in line with the law, I told be in Salala, Bengoma, Todota, Phoebe, Bonota.
Did you listen to her recent press conference Tuesday? Did you listen to that address?
She said,
She addressed the nation,
yeah, she said,
and that it was going to be delivered to the political parties.
it doesn't, yeah. So how many days do we have for the election?
18 days to go.
So you from Grand Crew, let's say you from Grand Crew, even if you are not from Grand Crew, you are contesting for this one in Grand Crew. When will you move from Monrovia with maybe 2,000 or 5,000 ballot paper that you have to photocopy and give them to your forerunners in your district to move from community to educate and inform the people this is how the ballot vote? When time do you have to do that? When time do you have? Those who are living in Lofa, those who are living in Grand Gide, those who are living in Sino, in Bapolo, when do you have the time? Even in Master here, it is not possible.
This is where the disadvantage comes in for these political parties.
But you were informed 5 years ahead in advance. 4 years, 3 years, 2 years, 1 year. Don't tell me you only knew about this exercise yesterday. I disagree. If we are not careful, I don't belong to any political party. I am a property of the civil society. I mean, speaking in the interest of our people, our women, who are more
But the
vulnerable.
election cannot be postponed, Councillor. We already there.
You
We
want
got 13 days.
post-election violence? Not post-election violence.
You can suggest something that
The suggestion
of a
is
solution
the suggestion
and not
is
a postponement.
the suggestion is it is not possible if even NEC does the publication tomorrow. It is not possible. A helicopter will not solve. If a helicopter will not solve, how many presidential candidates? The senators and the representatives, the more than 1,000. If you can bring helicopter, it will not solve the problem. It is a violation of the right to information. It's a fundamental human right, according to Article 21 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. The right to know you are voting to the precinct, it is a fundamental right. The right to know this is how the ballot paper will be looking, it is a fundamental human right. You are not doing. You want to push it on us at the 11th hour. So those who will not even have the capacity to earn 20% of the vote, they can capitalize on your blood now. And the system become chaotic. Who are the victims? We are the victims. Now the Coditon people are now speaking to us. Then I'm talking to my own man, my auntie, my brothers and sisters, who are always victims of this.
So your legal argument is it was done deliberately.
Her action is deliberate. Number one. So they asked I think they so yesterday, political parties mayor.
So if it was done deliberately, as you argue, deliberate again, what?
They asked her, why did the number jump instead of decreasing? Why am I asking man here? What you call asking man? Oh, okay, I will come back, I will answer to it. So my question is, so October 10, the result may not be announced. The country will start October 10, maybe after the election. October 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Then on the 15th, you can't do a pronouncement that John Brown won the election. I'm supposed to say, no, not for them. Say, oh, okay. Not your way, I'm going to come back tomorrow. You know what happened in this country? You have to calculate the intensities of the eagerness of everybody. You don't have everybody saying one round, one round. That does not signal to you. One round. Even with all the conglomeration of the numbers of the presidential party, people are still arguing, we will vote, we will win the election. That is to tell you that
which is not possible.
I'm not whether it's possible, not possible. That is you, the chairperson. That must signal to you that don't play, don't come make do play here.
And that is an inciting statement in itself. A one round, if a political party says they will win one round,
he is getting granted that. So you have to lay the fear. You're not acting in accordance with the rules laid down. This is the project. Conduct election is a project. So if you did not
one round is just to sound boring.
No,
confident.
No, I'm not talking about the political actors who are saying they will win one round. No, I'm interested in the deliberate attempt, the deliberate act of the chairperson of the election commission. To conduct election is a project. A project has objectives. A project has timeline. A project has activities to be implemented in line with the project work plan. Work plan number one, that the Republic is supposed to be informed by this 28th, the 18th of September, which is 30 days to October 10, about the total number that have been cleaned after the 2 million as per the duplication you did. We're supposed to have doing that by September 18th. So when you're doing it, oh, I also got found with a document that was signed at Farmington. So you want when anything by fire, then you tell people, you refer them, and you sign the Farmington agreement.
So So who's going to listen to you with your call for postponement with all of these things? Your claim is legitimate, or your position is constitutional. That's the law, is in the framework. But
who
calling for
who will listen?
Yeah.
Who will listen?
Yes, sir.
You should listen. Our actors must listen. Our partners should listen. ECOWAS must listen. The AU must listen. The UNDP, all of our international partners, the various embassies should listen. It will not be a crime if we run into constitutional crisis to do the right thing to avoid post-election violence. As the case of Kenya, as the case of Zimbabwe, we should not run to that. So that 30 days you waive deliberately, give that 30 days so that the extension will run into November, so that the voters will have the opportunity through the support of civil society to helping you to inform and educate the populace as to this is how the ballot paper will look like.
But then everything going to be altered.
So which one is most feasible? That will not be altered. It's just that you are stepping in your own negligence. And my position is to avoid
the law. The Constitution set the 10th of October.
Yes.
So with all of these anomalies, as you argue legally, with the call for the elections to go into November, then it means you have to make you have to make alterations within your timeline.
The only thing that will be affected is the date. But once the Liberian people understand how they are going to vote, what are their challenges, They will have no problem. They will queue up early in the morning hours and they will participate into the process. But anything minus that, you are forcing it on them. And the both will require imposition. Again, they will not have the time. But let's take for instance, we're voting on the 10th, right? So on the 6th October, now releases the voter roll, the final one. So what time do you have to come from way Wanyama? What time do you have to come from way Kaweke? What time do you have to come from way Toaster? And when do you even get there before the voter will know what in your hand, what they can use on the voting day? What time? I said no. It's a recipe for chaos. We should not underestimate this. The election commission chairman, this is not fair. Your action is deliberate. You got to linger on logistics. It's weak, feeble. What you call logistics? 5 years. Don't forget about the state. Let's move down 1 year from there. You be planning. The time you talk to submit a budget for funding, you need to consider those. You talking about logistics. As she claimed, they for a few days ago at the press conference.
That Tuesday.
I said no. You not even able to articulate. So embarrassingly, the person that she was making reference to the RT man, and to phobia, because he could not even articulate. That's simple logic. Okay, my old man, they can leave our sister in your hospital. When the market, but that I come in. That rest in the there, I know. Don't go too much. Sister say, oh yeah, Oma. Then Oma go to market. Then sister go. Every day when the go, no work and me. But this time when the mother come back from the market, she call sister go, she call more than 5 cup of red. When they go red remain. The mother say no. I told you to put uno 4 cup of red. You show that 4 cup of red? He said yes. Then the Oma went and check. And now there's a deduction. Does that number go up? It doesn't go up. That number will become the number of cup of rice in that bag will reduce. So you see, you told us this is the figure, 891,000. But we now satisfied with A. Some people register, not to register. We take that name from there. When you take that name from there, does the number come down or it goes up? That's the first contradiction, and it's a recipe for conflict. So she had to explain which are the mathematics and
So these political parties, like Unity Party, now before the Supreme Court and pray the court to issue a writ of McDermott's.
any political party that has done in all of the political parties, if they do that, they will be in the right direction. You know why? Because they don't want to wait to be remanded and making reference to you sign Farmington Declaration. That's where they will push you. And you sign Farmington Declaration. So now, even if all the political parties go to the Supreme Court, they will be right to avoid. You don't have the time to be telling people they're not your picture here. On election day, they're not your thing here. It will be chaotic. It will be chaotic. In Zimbabwe, the police arrested elections monitors and observers. They're not political parties Canada. Because it became chaotic that the observer and the monitor demanding that they will remain on the scene until the president, the police running them up. Is that what we want it to happen in Liberia? We said no. Why you did not act according to what is being legal by law? So I'm saying her action is she meaning it. She wants for her to bring she won't bring hala here. They will enter last time. She's the big woman for the voting hall. And my old man are talking to you that we the one can suffer. The other people who got their passport then, that one call the green to run out from the whole America. They're not worrying about it. But for your people, that I say I'm talking for this one. She's supposed to have done study. She didn't do it. She meaning it. Not to say she now know it.
So King, what how will you say that you can have error?
No.
And the error doesn't say deliberate. Error just means that you have a slight application.
The two instances, the two examples, they're not error. Why you said the law said you're supposed to do this on this day, they didn't do it. That one not make sense. You can't say, oh, the number plenty, but we not say with the number. Some people register, they have to register. We move that name from the list. So if you move that name from the list, that one that daycare subtraction and addition there. If you move plenty student name from the list, who not to go to the quick contest. then that number, the total number that we go to create, and that will be high, or it's over the 4 now, it's will reduce. So how can you show us? I get the Reverend Maserado. That Maserado, we said 891,000. 201. People register 8 months rider, but we're not satisfied with the list because we're not losing we know that some people now they're not so registered, but they're not on the day. We take that name from the so if we take that name from the list, it should be coming out to 700,000. Now we're going to 900,000. Then something under your arm. Our agreement. So to satisfy and stop the hala, and we want to conduct our own election, yes. So we appeal to the court, yes. Allow we extend the time, yes. Why you extend the time? We want so our people in all of the villages will look at the voting paper. So that the voting day, that can be the cause of invalid votes. This year, if they force it, the invalid vote will be more than the valid vote.
So it is within your plan as a lawyer to pray the Supreme Court to look at these things and then take a decision on postponement.
I'm not going to quote as organization. I'm speaking as an organization,
But
access to justice and legal aid. I'm saying,
you already know all of the legal implications which you have explained. So now you have to seek redress with the court, like how the political parties have done.
Yeah, let the political actors. We are there to speak for the voiceless. That's what we are doing as civil society actors. So we are informing our people that the woman who is the big person for the voting hall, she's doing bad things. Then, if we're not careful, we'll run here up and down. While you're hearing it, all the political parties say we'll win one round. We'll win one round.
So
I will tell you that you're not careful.
You identify the problem from the onset, counsel, and you guys remain speechless. You didn't talk from the onset. It reached to this point, 13 days to go. Now you're raising your voices.
No, if you listen to the election, the EECC, council, Oscar Pro, the election, everybody have been talking this thing, that the election, now only the market people, the students, your LU people, calling on people, you'll be talking there on the radio, on the talk show, on the attention, on the social media, that the voting hall is now proceeding the way it's supposed to proceed. But the voting hall say they arguing like ducks.
You're referencing politicians, civil society, and other people. But you, lawyer, you people who are well schooled in the law will remain speechless.
No, but who told you, Oscar Blow is a lawyer? Who told you the source started? The guy lawyers in the source started. In fact, the source started should have great voice then. I mean, lawyers. The bar has been releasing, and I'm speaking on behalf of the bar because I don't want to run that. But I'm just telling you that everybody has been raising the issue of having this election free, fair, and transparent to avoid conflict. But the chairperson of the election commission says,
and the voter roll, the cleaning of the voter roll is the main aspect for transparency and credibility.
Precisely, over 2 million. So how many persons, how many number of that 2 million that finally will be using? We are knowing that by September 18. Do our people know in Bukonjide, in the weekend? No. In Saplepier? No. In Zaza? No. In Kenny? No. In Rabaspo? No. They don't know. So when do you bring it to them? You can force it on them. So you don't think they will attack you? They will attack the process, they will attack the system. It will be chaotic. At that time, you don't have the laws rate. They can even put the AFL and the police in the citizen. They don't be overwhelmed. That means the human will be plenty. That's why it means to be overwhelmed.
And they will abstain from voting?
They tell you that do the thing over will not satisfy. You shoot them, you not shoot them. Not bringing one to you. They open their lappers in the street. I went into they open their lappers in the street. They open their chest. They will walk from street to street. Do we want to reach that level? I said no. So that 30 days, you mean it. You didn't do it. Let us see 30 days come so that you will give us the voting paper. We'll go in the communities. From community to community, we tell our people, hello, yeah, we can't get the contract to you. We the migas ain't see the children, that in the children you use in the street. buy your Lone Star car, Circle Orange car. We use that to assemble the community from point to point. This is how the voting people will be looking like. That's what they call civic voter education.
So your call for postponement that the election you want it to take place on October 10th. So the 30 days will have been
It's
inserted.
sufficient, very stupid when they say 30 days in advance the voter should be out. They were not naive. 30 days is very sufficient. So if you release the final voter on October, okay, let's say the first day of the month, until the 30th day or the 31st day of the month. That is a sufficient time for political parties to go to NEC or the magisterial offices around the country to release the voting sample. Yes, 30 days is sufficient. Nobody will cry if that
And do a thorough check.
that they will have the time to come and say, oh no, you may spend money. Oh, they not to be spread this way. Or money not there, yeah, man, that is the but we did all of the election we doing that. That period was called replacement of voter ID card and correction of names. The we do it in this election, we said no. So why are you violating what your predecessor did? Why are you doing that? That's our argument. So we say the election, don't do it hurry, already making the blunder. That damage control now, that damage control, everybody should swallow the bitter pill, start arguing that yeah, we'll run the constitutional process, but it will be in the interest of the state and our partner. Because when I just been telling you, when the war comes, I don't know from here. So I know what happened. What can bring conflict after the calling of post-election violence? That means the voting taking place. No, but no, not tell you that. Now what they call post the violence after election, what they call post-election violence. Do we want that this year? We say no, we don't want it. So that which they didn't do, let's do it. If we extend the time, all the Liberian people will not die. We'll not be committing crime against ourselves. It will just be you have to take the result that you made some blunder, you made some mistake, big mistake that will make the country to go to war. So when you realize it, you say, if I do this, the country will go to war. So I beg I hold your fool, I made mistake. And all the book and say no man is infallible. That means everybody can make mistake. So I agree that you made mistake. But if you force it, something will happen.
You're listening to Bits and Pieces on Voice of Liberia 104.1 Monrovia, Voice of Liberia 89.7 Kakata-Magidi County, the online radio www.voiceofliberiaradio.com, Facebook Voice of Liberia. Just put in the keyword or put in the search box Voice of Liberia and you're in. My guest this afternoon is Liberian lawyer and executive director of Access to Justice Legal Aid Program, Omisi Johnson, calling for the extension of the October 10th elections, having explaining his reasons, the errors that the National Elections Commission, in his opinion, legally made. So you want to raise some concerns with him? You can do it on 0770 907 907, 0880 907 907. The numbers 0770 907 907 0880 907 907. You want to go straight to the point. Forget about the long explanations because the phones are ringing. Just ask him if you got a statement to make the statement. If you got a question to ask him strictly so that he understands and can answer you at best. Good afternoon.
Yeah, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing fine. Your name and where you are phoning in from?
Well, this is Mohammed Masikwe. I'm calling from the
Yeah, lower your radio so the lawyer will understand you good.
Well, I'm talking on the radio.
Yeah, so speak,
Well,
guy.
I agree with the lawyer in studio there. There's a need that time be extended because everything for the process right now have been delayed. And because of the delay, they want to fast finish. The error is too much. Where are we going?
Okay, sir. Thank you so much. Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir.
Yeah.
I'm Robert Cato to be exact from looking down in the White Chapel.
Let's hear you, Mr. Carter.
Yeah, my think the council just they postpone the election when the commissioner be changed Will all the commissioners be changed?
No.
Okay, thank you so much.
They will remain there.
Good afternoon.
Okay, good afternoon.
Yeah,
I'm Jim from looking at District 16.
let's hear you, James.
Yeah, from my own observation on the election here is that we need to postpone the election because they won't have blown out everything. I mean, they blown out everything, and we're 30 more days. So we need to have volunteers and things there. Don't postpone the election. Thank you.
Good afternoon.
Hello.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, my brother. Thank you for the show.
What is your name and where you calling from?
My name is Sean Esbara. I call from Italy, Pambush.
Let's hear you.
You know, the land council has said, everything National is doing is like she's doing it. She meaning it to do it. Let me say in own library finance.
Yeah, she meaning it.
And like she want to bring problem into the country, and we don't want problem. We went through war. We know what is war. So the advice, that's what the council is saying. I just want the council of the churches, along with the how they call it, the legal people. They should put their voice in there so that they can be heard, so that they can able to extend the time.
Okay.
If they don't do it.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon.
Yeah, how are you, sir?
Yeah, fine. Your name and where you calling from?
Well, I'm calling from Callydale.
Your name?
And my name is Bill Stewart.
Let's hear you, Mr. Stewart.
All right, thank you very much to the lawyer and also the man who is in the studio there that monitoring everything. Thank God for all of you for your good education that you're carrying on. But what I want to let you know here is that the election here, let it be a standard because some of us, we took our ID card and then the ID card, as I'm telling you, everything. The whole something erased from there. The name, the number, everything is there. And we're hearing that.
But listen, Net gave time. Net gave time for damage and lost card. So if you lost your card or it damaged and you did not work within the time that Net gave, it's up to you. Good afternoon.
Yeah, how you doing, sir? How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing fine, thank you. And you?
Yeah, I'm Kudu. I'm calling from station number 2, Joseph.
Your name?
K.O. Colley.
Let's hear you, Mr. Colley.
Yeah, chairman for positive thing. I agree with the lawyer. What he's saying, I agree 100%. We get discussing the Taisha test now. I think my reader are hearing seeing it. So we agree with him. Let it postpone that time. 30 days, we agree with it. Thank you.
Thank you so much for calling. Have a nice day. 0770-907-907, 0880-907-907. Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Hello?
Yeah. Your name, sir?
What's the Joseph M. Lamentina calling from Super Computer?
Let's hear you, Joseph.
Yes, what we need to do as a Liberian, everybody would not be certified in this election. Even if this election go for another, if the election commission even extend this election for another 1 or 2 months, everybody will not be certified. Liberian, we just need to be peaceful to go to the election, to the president, let Liberia be Liberia. So what my suggestion is that let election take place, let everybody go to that normal position.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon.
Yeah, how are you, sir?
Good afternoon.
Yeah, my name is Mother B. Buri at 2 calls from the glass of there. Yeah, what the councillor said there, I listened to AFP and drop from my ass. It is true. We should postpone this election because the city is rich already is pregnant. They will make one mistake, we will die, and someone will get rich.
I mean, nobody died yet. That's the law. What the law says, the mayor explaining. Yeah, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Yeah.
Yes, I'm James P. calling from Ghana's.
Let's hear you, Mr. Kwehi.
Okay, Mr. P.
Oh, P. Sorry, thank you.
Yes, I look at this whole thing as a calculated attempt by the election commission to create problems in this country. We are not ready for that. Please. She should be very, very careful because what I foresee, as the learner counselor was just talking in there, what I foresee, I don't want for such thing to happen.
Okay, sir.
If at all it continues in such way, you realize that the two political parties, CDC and that of Unity Party, may go into a serious confrontation. that may
Okay.
even lead to the police now controlling them, that the military may come in, and it will be a different thing.
Thank you so much for calling. Have a nice afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Hello?
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah? I'm Benedict calling from Wacy.
Benedict what? Call your full name.
Yamfor calling from Wacy.
Benedict Yamfor. Let's hear you, Mr. Yamfor.
Yeah, you see, I listen to the main studio. The man is 100% right. These are some of the things why the people saying from the say if there will be cheating in the election, there will be problem. So what we do here is that we should postpone the time for the election. Thanks.
Thank you so much for calling. Have a nice day. Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon, Sego.
No, this is Sam Andrews. Segu is on this evening.
Okay, sorry. I understand the conversation concerning about the election discussion. I do believe that I 100% agree with the councillor. Let the election commission deem it necessary to extend the particular election. According to what we are observing and the procedure is not well explained, I think that this election should be extended in order to avoid riot and that of chaos.
Thank you so much for calling. Have a nice day. 0770-907-907, 0880-907-907. Good afternoon.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon. Yeah, thank you for covering this discussion. I know that council or Paris, that be fair. Many organizations start violence in the country. The men are speaking the person that independent. That be fair. Look at me talking, taking side, and put goal to the power. Well, you have to know for that, we like to the level for that, we like to all. On the chat, we like you all that. The place is complete. Nobody go, nobody do nobody to that. I don't know, I come over to what you say, no free power or something. I don't mind, I don't want to go away, that wasn't no power. If I see me, you know, the parliament, that's the one.
Thank you for calling. Have a nice afternoon. 0770-907-907, 0880-907-907. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. You are on the air, sir. Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Yeah.
My name is Momo Kennedy. Hello.
Yeah, Momo, we are listening to you. Everybody listening to
My name
you.
is Momo Kennedy, and I call you from Telephone Community.
That's Kakata. All right. Yeah.
But,
How is Kakata this
the
afternoon?
council that is in studio, I think is trying to prevent chaos in this country. So it's left with Jerome Lasonas to listen to him so that you can do the right thing, because we don't want no post electoral violence. Thank you.
Thank you so much for calling. Have a nice afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate your studio this afternoon. I'm Batwasi Ray calling from Zimbabwe. What he mentioned is true. But in the meantime, we should change that election commission, because the way it's proceeding is not showing fair play. She's doing things like cheating will be in the election. Thank you very much.
Thank you for calling. Have a nice day. 0770-907-907, 0880-907-907. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. You are on the air. Yes. Let's hear you. What is your name and where are you calling from?
Yes, I'm calling from Brownsville. I'm Jeremiah P. Corey. You know what I foresee in this country if we are not careful? Hello?
We are listening, sir.
What I foresee in this country if we are not careful, I foresee military taking over in this country.
No. That one will fire from your chief. That democratic nation here. Good afternoon.
Hello?
Yeah.
This is Ben Kamasiama, calling from Brownsville. Hello?
Ben, everybody listening to you.
Yeah, well, I'm going to take the council. These are the things they should be elaborated and then talking policies. One, that we should have free and fair election. Let's go back to there. Let next children well. Thank you, Council, for the good education we have today.
All right. Thank you ever so much for spicing up the show. Council, you can respond.
Okay, I heard a voice looking like my, you know, my little brother. Hey, your voice looking like a first-time voter. I don't belong to any political party. I am the founder and executive director of the Asset to Justice and Legal Aid. What we do, we provide public legal education, information, and awareness. For you, you form part of our beneficiary because you don't know the system, how it works. I'm not talking about the people who got their degree, calling on people. When I say calling on people, I talk making reference to the both people who got visa in their hand to run from here anywhere. That they the one I'm not talking to them. You wanted them, and I don't belong to that political party. So you didn't understand. You're not understand what we're discussing. So I beg you. So take your own time. We are saying the election commission chairman must remain there. We're not changing her. She already done mistake. She will correct the mistake. But we should extend the 30 days that she had lost so that our people, you yourself, you are not even seeing the ballot paper in your hand. Let's see what we have callers.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so we, as per the time, we are again trying to restate and re-emphasize that this October 10 elections must be extended, not on October 10. Why? We lay down the different variables. We are arguing, our argument is that the chairperson of the National Elections Commission has violated the laws deliberately. She mean it. Our old man, when I say deliberate, that means she mean it. And they all she want us to be running here, there. We say no, God forbid. We don't prepare for that one. So it will not be any crime. We will not for any law, our own law, our own election. So that thing she didn't do. All our old man there. None of you are even seen a voting paper. You don't know what number you're on the body. They be telling you, oh, I number one, oh, I number two, I number three, I number four. Have you seen the paper? You're not seeing it. So see that paper. That my argument there. The National Election Commission put the show to get that paper since September 18. They have not done it yet. Then we'll get, let's just say that day after tomorrow we'll go to election. Then they come and bring it tonight. It's not possible. So we don't want us to be making fun among ourselves. That will be fighting. No. Get power to political party leaders. Just put the market together. You try to fight with catching the apple because everybody is hot. You not hearing that? The other party will say, political will say, I will win number one. Oh, we'll win the number one. We'll win the election. No second round. You're not hearing those things there. Then, Madam last time you can't be playing fun with it. Then you say, oh, today the figure, oh, it's not correct. I will come back tomorrow. Now, 40 coming. We say we are scary. So it will not be a crime. We now do crime against ourselves. It will not have the election on October 10. We can do that 30 days. The law says 30 days. You must get that ballot paper in your hand. If your name not correct, if your name, you should know where you should be voting. If we don't know yet, so what should are knowing on September 18, we not know if she not even bringing it out. They will soon finish. That next week Tuesday will be vote. Just one more week, we coming vote. You have not even seen the paper you're coming forward. So we say no. Let's postpone, extend the election. That 30 days that we so make it, that 30 days that then we have that 30 days. So we'll move from Morovia, we'll go to Grand Gide. We'll move from Morovia, we'll go to Vonyama, we'll go to Staglepi, we'll go to Greenville, we'll go to Babalu. So that we tell our people then that how the voting paper looking like. So on the voting day, that how you supposed to vote. If you can't read and write, you put your finger here. Don't cross it on the line. That's what they call civic voter education. That one, that what the law say. That we want to put the law together, and that law been there ever since. But why the big woman for the voting was she meaning it? She not want to it. So we probably scary. We see the war. We not run for when the war come. Me and not run away. All the rebel people they catch me. I get God allow me to live.
Then you are alive.
But that God made me to live. That small,
the age treated you.
That small ABC in my head. I was waiting for them. That I survived. They say you know going out there, I know going. But
so
they don't have anybody to wait for them.
You were the recording secretary.
I was ready for them. The one I had, that one made me to. So I know what happened in the war. I sure that our old man there.
So when with all that experience now, with everything over, They say I gotta go to law school, so
That,
I know the law.
but that one, the war meeting we have to go to school. Yeah, my people that my woman are talking to now, y'all putting on people. I'm talking to y'all. Now my woman there, my auntie there. Anything happen, we the one will feel it.
So you take up you taking up the issue that yeah, that's the same thing,
Yeah.
but they you want to go there, you want to do a communication to them, identifying their anomalies, their errors.
Other
So,
people have done it to them. Hmm? The political people, the political group now have done it to them. The people are not political people that the election monitoring committee, Oscar Book and Oscar Book, people, all the civil society, they've been talking it, talking it, talking it. But why they woman now want listening? They say, oh man, you told do them well, according to what the law say, you not do you, why you not do it? Then she will say, really, I forget, but I'll come back to I can answer you. That what the queen man call recipe to fight war. Hala hala.
Arakan, so
Fighting. So we don't want that one. Now we kind of come to our people then. They vote, they be voting for the woman are there, she doing bad bad thing. If we're not careful, it will make all the
Arakan, so let's have your parting comment. We've already into time.
Okay, so we want to say thanks to the management of the Voice of Liberia. It is our passion. We are very apprehensive. We don't want a replica of Kenya, Zimbabwe, Nigeria. No, we don't want it. God forbid, we don't want it. So if we postpone and extend the voter date, it will not be a crime that Liberian people committing against themselves for the right thing to be done in the interest of the state and the people. Thanks very much.
He's Liberian lawyer and executive director of Access to Justice and Legal Aid Program, Omisi Johnson, calling for the postponement of the October 10th election. My guest on the show, Bits and Pieces on Voice of Liberia 104.1 Monrovia, Voice of Liberia 89.7 Kakatamagibi County, the online radio, www.voiceofliberiaradio.com, Facebook, keywords Voice of Liberia. Thanks to Daniel Salif Sikre, who is in Kakata coordinating everything on that side. And thanks to the team that he's working with. Thanks to Patrick Sa, who is behind the camera in Morovia. My name is Sam Andrews, and this is how we go home and return tomorrow, if God permits.